something to let it go to waste, with anything at stake.
We've got Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife posing as she competed at the Ms Olympia in 1985. It's Gladys Portugues, okay? She was born September 30th, 1957. So that makes her, I believe, if I can do the math here, let me do the math here, 67 years old, okay? And she is married to Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I even double checked to see if they're still married. Apparently they were married in, what's it say here? In 1987, they were married. They were married for 5 years till 1992. They got divorced, and then they got remarried in 1999, and they're still married, okay? So this is Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife. This is from, 1985. This is from 40 years ago, guys. This is back when you see her in the video, because I'm gonna show it to you real shortly. When you see her in the video posing, it seems like almost like as if there was no steroid use back then for the women bodybuilders. They were more just a woman kind of just moving around and stuff. And it wasn't nothing crazy. It was kind of like what you would see a natural woman's bodybuilder today. But Gladys Portugues is very attractive too, just like the video we just did on Shaun Bernal. This lady here is also very attractive. And this was back in 1985. This is before Sharon's time even. So even if Sharon might have been, we're not sure, there might have been a little bit of drug stuff happening. And that's why eventually Sharon decided not to do it, because the drugs were starting to get more prevalent in bodybuilding. And around 1993, 94 or so, that's when the steroids started going crazy in the women's bodybuilding. That's when women's bodybuilding, they went from being this big to this big. They just kept growing and growing. Every show they get bigger and bigger, right? This is before all that. So when you see her posing, you're gonna see what an attractive, fit woman looks like. So I'm not sure how much Gladys Portugues competed. I believe she didn't compete very long, because I believe when she got married, she decided to focus on raising kids. Okay, and I believe they have at least 2 kids together with her and Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's at least 2 kids together. And she decided that she's going to put her, because of Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's a superstar and a movie star and all that, especially in the 80s, right? He would have been like a superstar. She decided to take her career off as a bodybuilder and fitness person, all that kind of stuff, and to focus on raising a family and being by Jean-Claude's side, okay? So that's what she did. So that's why you didn't see her much in the bodybuilding world. She was in and out. Basically, Jean-Claude must have seen her kind of how I'm seeing her in this video and said, "Oh my God, who's that girl?" Because Jean-Claude Van Damme could have had. He was a movie star. He was a superstar. He could have had anyone he wanted, right? So he must have saw her and said, "Holy shit!" But I'm gonna play her video right now, actually, and let's see what we think. This is Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife, Gladys Portugues. This is from 1985, so this is 40 years ago. And I believe they probably started dating around this time, because I believe in 1987 is when they got married, so he probably started dating her around this time. So here she is, Gladys Portugues, at the 1985 Ms Olympia. She's a female bodybuilder. This is back before steroids and stuff, guys. I can almost guarantee it. Now you're seeing what Jean-Claude Van Damme saw. He must have been like, "Oh my God, who is this guy?" This is when women's bodybuilding was sexy. Like I said, guys, this is Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife.
Stay for someone that wasn't worth the wait. Counting down the days. When I move through my word, I just wanna trust in my word.
This is when they really marked, like bodybuilding was a lot about these girls being feminine, moving around feminine, looking attractive. What women's bodybuilding should look like, you know what I'm saying? Feminine, fit. That was that. That's Gladys Portugues, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like, I'll answer some questions now because I just want to play that for you guys. Because that's another video I came across. Because I just did a video on Shaun and that sucker is getting so many views. It's crazy because people love a fit, feminine woman. I'm telling you right now, people love women bodybuilders from the 80s and 90s. Those physiques were incredible. There's a few like very, very attractive women that did competitions back in the 80s and 90s. I don't think Gladys placed really high because you can see she's not overly muscular, but her attractiveness and her combination of beauty and muscle is incredible, right? Just like there's a Rachel McLeish's out there, just like a Sharon Bernot. I think there's more girls. The more since I opened this can of worms with looking into Sharon Bernot, other women are popping up in my feed. I'm like, oh, geez, I forgot about that one. And then other people are saying other things about other people. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should do something on that one as well. So yeah, I'm gonna. There's lots of pictures too of Gladys Portugues. Okay, what was I saying before? Because here's their Wikipedia, right? She was in the Pumping Iron, the movie for 1985 for this video. That's probably why the editing's so good for that video we just watched, because she was in. They did a Pumping Iron to the woman, right? And it revolved around the Ms Olympia, probably, just like they did with the men, right? And then she's been in a few movies and stuff like that. But around 1987, she retired. But I guess she came back into the scene around 2011. But between 1987 and those years, she retired to become a wife to Jean-Claude Van Damme and to raise 2 kids with him, right? She basically put her career on hold because obviously Jean-Claude Van Damme is a superstar, right? So it's quite the video. We might have to watch this one more time. I think I had another. There might be somewhere else where I had another version of this video. And if I do, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna pull up another video here. I think I have another video of her.
Next up, she will
again, this is
beauty, a fashion model.
Our boy Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife.
83. Here's Gladys Portugues.
Gladys Portugues, guys. 1985 Ms Olympia. At the time, she had to be one of the most attractive female bodybuilders or fitness people out there. Just like Sharon Bernot, she's got just a great natural physique. Do you know what I mean? Like the small waist, the shoulders, the muscles. the good looks. She plays the crowd. She has those eyes she gives the audience. This is what, back in the 80s and 90s, I was fascinated with women's bodybuilders. Like, I love women's bodybuilding. It's because of girls like this, I'm telling you. This is what women's bodybuilding was when I used to look in the magazines. She definitely got an 80s hairstyle. But you know what? When you look like this, she's timeless, you know what I'm saying? Like, her body's amazing, if you ask me. And I remember her and Jean-Claude were together, and I was like, oh my God, you lucky guy. Wow. Wow. I'm not gonna lie though, these girls that look like this, they didn't place as high. They might have placed pretty well at the amateurs to get to the pro, but at the pro level, they weren't placing as high because they weren't as muscular as the rest of them, right? They had this balance of femininity and muscle and sensuality, but that's where it ended, because if they would have got any more muscular, they might have lost other elements, right? But so they kept true to themselves and brought a physique that they wanted to bring to the stage, and they brought a very feminine, attractive physique to the stage. That's what, to me, that's women's bodybuilding. Okay, that's what I love about women's bodybuilding. But I understand as things evolve, people push things more and more to the limit, especially in the other scene. See, in the natural bodybuilding, that's still possible. It's just that now even in natural bodybuilding, we require more of the athletes, because we would consider that soft. But to me, if you just saw her on this, like walking around, like if you just saw her in person, you'd be like, oh my God. If she'd have been any more shredded, or like they call it, right, or more ripped, who knows what that would have done to her physique, right? Because I think that's, even with like that's where there's a fine line, like where you look attractive and you look your best, to where you look like you're gonna win a show. Like even with the natural athletes, say natural women in natural bodybuilding and fitness and all that kind of stuff, they probably look their best, like attractiveness wise. And that don't get mad at me, anybody, for what I'm saying here. Attractiveness wise, when they're not overly dieted. Because I even know for myself, I feel way more like facially attractive when I'm not dieted down like a maniac. Like, I hate that drawn out face. Because even one person talked about with me, and I'm a guy, see? So it's not just the women. So I can say this because men understand too. Women understand too with their men, that they don't, especially when you're natural, because you don't keep the fullness to your face when you're drawn out, right? Like some person said to me, oh yeah, Shaun, you're really, like, I remember I was like in my 20s or 30s or whatever, when I first started competing, some person said to me, oh Shaun, you're an attractive guy, but when you do a show, I don't like that look when you're all drawn out. You're not as attractive as they, or whatever they said, right? So it's a real thing. Like Gladys Portugues looked amazing there. And then when Sharon Bernal looked amazing. And we're probably gonna find more women that we, like I'm gonna probably dig up some Rachel McLeish stuff. But Sharon Bernal, don't get mad at me. You're still you still were my number one crush. I'm telling you right now, in the 90s, I had a big crush on Sharon Bernal because she was more in the magazines more than Gladys Portugues. Gladys Portugues was only in the magazines a very short period of time, because as soon as she met Jean-Claude Van Damme, they became an item and they got married and all that stuff. She retired from everything. She just basically became his, like, whatever spouse, and then they raised a family together, you know what I mean? Like, she just sort of went off the radar. where Sharon Bernal was on the radar all along, right? And she was in the fitness scene way longer, so she was way in the magazines way more. Gladys Portugues would have been in the magazines. Well, you saw her. Like, why would she not be in the magazines? You know what I mean? Like, she'd be more like she's more like a, what do we call, like a cover girl model? Like, she'd be modeling in the magazines, right? Let me just look on her thing. Was she like a model? I wouldn't be surprised if she was a model. I'm just gonna read a bit of her. Let's pull up her thing and I'll read it to you guys. Okay, Gladys Portugues, born September 30th, 1957, is an American former professional female bodybuilder and actress. As a bodybuilder, she placed twice in the top 10 in the Ms Olympia, which is the biggest contest in the world. She's married to Belgian actor and martial artist Jean-Claude Van Damme. Born of Puerto Rican parents, Portuguese has said that she was inspired to start her own bodybuilding weight training regime while attending Marymount Manhattan College when she saw Rachel McLeish, I already mentioned her, on television winning the Ms Olympia title. In 1987, at the age of 30, Portuguese married Belgian martial artist and actor Jean-Claude Van Damme, or they're calling him Jean-Claude Van Vartenberg. I guess that must be his real name. The couple divorced in 1992, but then they remarried in 1999. They have 2 children, Christopher and Bianca, together. And her husband is professionally known, like I said, as Jean-Claude Van Damme. We all know him as Jean-Claude Van Damme. She's been in a few films. Pumping Iron 2, the movie, that was when they revolved around 1985 Ms Olympia. She was in The Morning After, in our bodybuilding movie. She's in It's Alive 3, Island of the Alive. She was a waitress. I don't know anything about that. That's when she took her big hiatus from acting and bodybuilding and all that to raise a family. Then I guess in 2011, she was in a movie called Behind Closed Doors. She's wrote some books, it looks like. Yeah, she's the real deal. She was born in 1957, so she's 67 right now and still married to Jean-Claude Van Damme. So again, guys, just going to show you where bodybuilding came from. That is what, I don't know. It's not as extreme, obviously, and people love extreme. But yeah, there you go. I want to share that with you guys. That is Gladys Portugues at the 1985 Ms Olympia, looking stunning. Another example of beauty and muscle combination. Like, you can't argue with me here, guys. When a woman is attracted, muscle does not take away from a woman's femininity. It's when they go to the extreme. Like, that's a lot of work to look like that. For a woman to be that muscular and feminine and that attractive and all that kind of stuff, and not use drugs, that's about as crazy as it's gonna get, right? Obviously, it's genetics too. You have to she's just an attractive person. She has a great body. You have it or you don't, right? But she worked on what she had, and she added muscle to it, and it did not take away at all her femininity or attractiveness. At least not to me. I don't know, you let me know. But that's Gladys Portugues. Amazing video. All right, so thanks for checking it out. I'm Shaun Campbell 2.0. Check me out subscribe to me on YouTube. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. And we'll talk to you at another time.